we're back on the Rise Exchange. The 2024 edition of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group gets off the ground today in Abuja with the opening presentations by top officials of the think tank group, key delegates, as well as top Nigerian government officials, including the Vice President and the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning. Let's take an excerpt from the Budget Minister's opening comments.
Summit recommendations continue to inspire government to reform critical sectors of the economy. For instance, the 29th Summit emphasized the urgent need to tighten foreign exchange rules, broaden official market, and harmonize fiscal and monetary policies for a balanced approach to economic stability. It highlighted infrastructure development as pivotal to sustainable economic growth, recommending prioritizing power generation, road networks, and transportation systems. Pursuant to the renewed hope strategy and in line with this recommendation, President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has sustained its foreign exchange reforms, eliminating the hitherto multiple rates, even as the Central Bank of Nigeria regularly fine-tunes its guideline to enhance monetary stability. Because of the bold, painful tackling of the punitive subsidy regimes that is affecting both currency and energy, funding to the three tiers of government had improved, in addition to enhancing the ability of governments to meet social investment and even minimum wage payments. The President approved the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund earlier in the year. The fund is an innovative tool to generate financing, not from the budget, but utilizing equity component on the budget to promote, enhance, and create employment opportunities in transformational projects in railway, coastal railway, the 700 kilometer, for example, 1,000 kilometer Sokoto-Badagry superhighway, and as well as dams, irrigations, and investment in an energy transition led by CNG, which is designed to cheapen Nigeria's energy availability so that we remain competitive. Between last year's summit and today, we have had a 2.7 trillion naira supplementary budget, a 28.77 2024 annual budget, and a 6.2 trillion naira amendment which incorporated the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund into the budget. The three budgets demonstrate our commitment to restoration of macroeconomic stability, funding our priorities such as security, agriculture and food security, infrastructure, human capital development, social investment, as well as innovation and the creative economy. Innovative measures include expansion of consumer credit to support manufacturing and access to affordable credits, mortgage reform to expand access to housing, student loans funding, CNG penetration as expansion program, as well as digitization of government services, all intended to, among others, expand the economy, reduce deficit, and attain an increase in capital spending. These measures are complemented by a host of trade and fiscal reforms, some of which NEE have spoken about. In addition, the decision to accept Naira payment for crude oil for domestic refiners and the oversubscription of the domestic dollar bond issued are both expressions of confidence in both our Naira and growing confidence in our economy. Increased investment is being witnessed in infrastructure, energy, agriculture, and digital economy. Your Excellency, just a few days ago, the ministry held its joint planning board meeting in Nasarawa, and in a confirmation that the subnational economies are taking up the opportunities, the governor informed us that 2 lithium processing plants are currently being constructed in in Nasarawa. Just last week again, I was in Katsina State, where the governor told us, as a result of improvement in security, 95% of the areas where planting did not take place last year in 2023, this year, those areas have been planted. I think those are significant evidences that the reform and investments are working. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, including these governance and institutional reforms have helped improve our macroeconomic performance. Our GDP has been enhanced from 2.98% growth in first quarter of 2024 to 3.19% in quarter 2 of 2024. Inflation is trending downwards, while external reserves are improving. Our external trade balance improved slightly in the second quarter of 2024, all testaments to the efficacy of the reforms. Therefore, we seek cooperation and understanding of the broad spectrum of the citizenry, as there is indeed light at the end of the tunnel. The economy is facing the right direction, and the decline has been arrested. What has been achieved is a result of boldness, resilience, and collaboration, and thus we need more to compensate for the decades of underinvestment and to ensure that we deliver a collaborative, competitive, and stable environment. We must not determine the winners, but ensure equity. The economic stabilization bills, the emergency economic team, and the presidential economic management team are all testaments to the desire of the administration to collaborate more. Your Excellency, the theme of this year's summit, Collaborative Action for Growth and Competitiveness and Stability, reflects the critical imperatives required to sustain our economic growth and development and improve the lives of all. This is consistent with the government's commitment to the Renewed Hope Agenda and the revised National Development Plan, and to continue the collaboration with the private sector. Your Excellency, I will conclude by again recalling that before you came, Dr. Suleiman said something, that 30 years ago, when the NESG was established, it was a military era, and the decision-making was unitary. And thus, that the import of his statement was that time, if you are able to convince the national leadership, then everything flows smoothly. Now we are in a constitutional federalism with 3 tiers of government and with a presidential team that are committed to federalism. So the tax is even more demanding in the sense that you have to convince different levels of government. So it is on this maybe background that we have to, and in fact the constitutional democracy increases the demand for government services because you have institutions, assemblies that they owe their existence to promoting and ensuring constituency demand. So it is in this background one can appreciate that turning the economy in the right direction, given the need to convince and carry along both subnationals, development partners, international institutions, and countries and rating agencies who are expressing confidence and partnering on the work for the commendable action is all the more noteworthy. We have interacted with many people, many institutions, and they, particularly our development partners led by the World Bank, and they have been very supportive because they have seen the transparency with which the administration has approached partnership in terms of endearing confidence so that all of us, I believe by the time we meet in 2025, the positive trajectory under the Renewed Hope Agenda will be cemented. Thank you for giving me this.